Hello, my loves. It's been a while, hasn't it? I think it's been, I don't know, like 3 weeks, 3 weeks probably, since we've done the last serial killer mini case, the whole series thing that we got going on, which we're on number 4 tonight. But in the last 2 weeks, I have done some amazing motherfucking things, and I'm super proud of myself. I released a single called Goddess. There may be some of you that don't know, but I'm a singer, songwriter, artist. I do some modeling, and I also do some acting. So maybe you didn't know any of that. I don't know. Just here to tell you, I do all kinds of shit because I just like to stay busy. If I'm not busy, I'm going crazy. So I keep myself busy. Anywho, yeah, I released a single called Goddess, and it is doing really well. To me, 2024 is basically the year of the goddess. I know it's kind of just like in my head and something that I created, but it's going really well, and I hope that it continues. If you haven't heard the song Goddess, check out whatever your favorite streaming platform is, and just type in Amber Rae, R-A-E, Goddess, and you will find it. It will come up. All right, back to business. So, I've been listening to a lot of Acid Bath lately. Acid Bath is one of my favorite bands from back in the day. Metal, heavy metal, whatever genre they fall under. And on the one album cover is a picture of a clown a guy dressed as a clown, you know, like a killer clown. And so that reminded me of John Wayne Gacy. And that made me want to do his story tonight. So, case number 4 is John Wayne Gacy. Yes, let's get into it. I'm going to show you the picture real quick. We all know that face. That's a pretty popular face. Alright, date of birth for John Wayne Gacy was March 17th, 1942. His aliases and nicknames were the Killer Clown. That's just scary in itself. Clowns, for most people, are fucking scary by themselves. But then you attach it to somebody who's actually fucking evil and kills people, and it's just like, yeah, circuses and carnivals are really fucking hard for me. Nobody likes clowns. Characteristics, these are very unfortunate, but rape and torture were his thing. That's what he liked to do. He's a sick son of a bitch. The number of victims is 33. Yeah, 33 victims. Date of murder is 1972 to 1978. The date of his arrest was December 21st, 1978. I was so motherfucking happy when he got caught. I don't know what I'm saying. I wasn't alive back then. But watching the movies and stuff, like when I watched the movie, I was so happy when he got caught. His murder method was strangulation. Don't forget all the torture and everything else. But the very end game that he had was strangulation. Known victims, we'll get into that in the story. I want to get into his background a little bit, okay? John Wayne Gacy was born on March 17th, 1942 to a dysfunctional household that would mark the beginnings of his twisted philosophies. A lot of our serial killers that we know about really did have a very dysfunctional family, a fucked up childhood. I mean, those are a lot of the things that opened this can of fucking satanic crap. Not saying it's all satanic, but you know what I mean. Just negative juju, whatever it is. Gacy later would claim that his father was an abusive alcoholic who regularly beat him and his mother because Gacy was a bit effeminate. I don't know what that word is. And he couldn't meet his father's approval no matter what the hell he did. In his senior year of high school, Gacy dropped out. He moved out of the family home for a while and found work in a mortuary in Las Vegas. I did not know that, and I thought I knew most everything about Gacy. Alright. But he eventually went back home to attend business college. For a while, he worked as a shoe salesman. When Gacy was 22, he married into a business family. His wife's father owned a chain of Kentucky Fried Chicken restaurants, and Gacy became the manager of that family business. He became active in the community, joined in the JCs, where he received a number of honors and held key offices. A darker side of Gacy began to emerge in 1968 when he was arrested and charged with molesting a teenager who had been employed in the restaurant Gacy managed. He pleaded guilty and received a prison sentence of which he served 18 months. 18 months for molesting somebody. That's not justice. His wife divorced him, as she should, and he worked as a cook for a while before starting his own construction business. Now that construction business, this is where the shit gets real. You know what I'm saying? Anybody else who knows, you just know, you know. Gacy was in trouble again in 1971 after a teenager accused him of trying to force the youth to have sex. This time, the accuser failed to turn up at court, so the charges were dropped. Soon after, Gacy married again. But early into the marriage, he ceased having any form of sexual relationships with his new wife. By now, Gacy had started performing at children's parties and hospital wards as Pogo, or sometimes Patches the clown. Patches the motherfucking creepy-ass clown that, I don't know how the hell he ever got jobs. Who the fuck hired this guy? Have you seen the movie Patches? To impress the local politicians, dignitaries, and his neighbors, Gacy would throw large parties at his home. By all accounts, he was a great host at these parties, but there came a time when his wife and visitors to the home would comment on a strange smell that would always be present. Gacy explained that the odor was due to dampness in the crawl space beneath the house. That wasn't entirely true. No. Gacy would lure young men and boys to his home, claiming he wanted to hire them to do some work for his building construction company. He would then offer to show them his handcuff trick. That has nothing to do with each other, but whatever. This resulted in his victims being incapacitated. Why can't I say that word? Capacitated. Yeah. And he was then free to do as he wished to them, in which he did. Gacy used chloroform to sedate his victims, and then he would sodomize them. After the sexual assault, he would throw a rope tied in a loop around the victim's neck, put a stick in the loop, then slowly twist it, strangulating his victim until they were dead. Often he would recite Bible passages while he was killing them. He was a fucking clown. He was really a fucking clown. He was a fucked up, scary little man. Actually, it wasn't that little, but you know what I mean. His house had a crawl space beneath it, and this is where the majority of his 33 victims were buried. He would cover the bodies with lime to hasten the decomposition. Gacy flew under the radar of the local authorities for a really long time. I'm not sure how he did it. I think a lot of people said back then he was just so charming. He was so good at communicating with everybody. He threw the parties, so he just was hiding in plain sight, basically. Gacy flew, okay, I told you that he flew under the radars with the local authorities for a really long time until he made a major mistake in December of 1978. Gacy was providing a building estimate at a local pharmacy when he decided to lure a teenage boy back to his home. The boy's mother had dropped him off so he could fill out a job application at the pharmacy. When his disappearance was reported, police discovered that Gacy had been in the store at the same time. On looking further into his background, they learned Gacy had previously been prosecuted for molestation more than once. They began to watch Gacy very closely and paid a visit to his home on December 21st, 1978. One of the detectives asked if he could use Gacy's bathroom. He thought he could smell the distinctive odor of a decomposition as soon as the furnace fan started. Nasty, gross. Suspecting the worst, they got a search warrant and searched the crawl space. Yeah. Beneath the house, they found multiple decomposing corpses. Gacy was immediately arrested. Thank fuck. Now, I'm going to go through the list of the victims because they don't have a say anymore. And so sometimes I like to speak for them, say their name. Timeline of the known murders. These are the known murders. January 2nd, 1972, Timothy McCoy, he was 18. July 31st, 1975, John Bukovich, 17. April 6th, 1976, Daryl Sampson, he was 18. May 14th, 1976, Randall Reffitt, he was 15. May 14th, 1976, Samuel Stapleton, 14. So he had killed 2 in the same day. June 3rd, 1976, Michael Bonin, he was 17. June 10th, 1976, William Billy Carroll, he was 16. August 6th, 1976, Rick Johnston, he was 17. October 24th, 1976, Kenneth Parker, 16. And same date, William Bundy, 19. So he had killed 2 boys on the same day. December 12th, 1976, Gregory Godzik, he was 17. January 20th, 1977, John Zeke, he was 19. March 15th, 1977, John Prestige, he was 20. July 5th, 1977, Matthew Bauman, he was 19. September 15th and 25th of 1977, he killed Robert Gilroy, 18, and John Mowry, 19. October 17th, 1977, Russell Nelson, he was 21. November 11th, 1977, Robert Winch was 16. November 18th, 1977, Tommy Bolling, he was 20. December 9th, 1977, David Telsma was 19. February 16th, 1978, William Kindred, 19. June of 1978, Timothy O'Rourke was 20. November 3rd, 1978, Frank Wayne Dale Langdon was 19. November 13th, 1978, James Mazra, he was 21. And December 11th, 1978 was Robert Pice, who was 15. I believe that John Wayne Gacy's youngest victim was 14, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, 14. Let's see here. And that was Samuel Stapleton. Killed him on May 14th, 1976, and he was 14 years old. During the initial interrogation, Gacy began confessing to the terrible murders he had committed. He even drew a map to show where each victim was buried under his house. However, he refused to sign his statements. When he went to trial, he was found guilty of all the murders, and he was sentenced to death. Thank God. Or whoever. Thank somebody. Gacy was transported from the Menard Correctional Center to Statesville Correctional Center on the morning of May 9th, 1994. That's my birthday. Just May 9th is, for his execution. He was able to have a private picnic with his family on the prison grounds. Later that evening, he observed prayer with a Catholic priest prior to being taken into the execution chamber. Before the lethal injection could be administered, the chemicals clogged the IV tube, and the curtains covering the observation windows were drawn while the problem was sorted out. 10 minutes later, the curtains were open, and the execution process began. From start to finish, the execution took 18 minutes to complete. Allegedly, Gacy's last words before his death were, "Kiss my ass." He's such a fucking creep, right? Like one of the biggest fucking creepy ass motherfuckers. His death was confirmed at 12:58 a.m. Gacy's brain was removed and given to Dr. Helen Morrison for the purposes of researching serial killers and trying to determine whether there is a biological reason for their need to kill. It's something that a lot of us do wonder. I mean, what drives a person to kill? Is it literally something that they're born with, something in their brain? Where do they go wrong? Because when they're babies, have you ever seen an evil baby? And don't say Chucky, because that's not real. It's not. But you know what I mean? Like, we're not born full of evil and hatred. That shit is learned, and you know what I'm saying? So, okay, There's a little bit of trivia here that these people want you to know. Gacy's final meal was shrimp, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and French fries. The execution lasted for 18 minutes because one of the IV lines was clogged. So he got to live a little longer than he should have. I'm not okay with that, but he's dead now, so nothing we can do. He had an IQ of 118, which I believe was a little bit above average. Actually, I don't know what IQ was back then, but I believe it was slightly above average. Gacy dabbled in oil paintings while in prison. He would paint Disney characters like the Seven Dwarfs, Michelangelo's Pieta, or even self-portraits such as Pogo the Clown. After his execution, these paintings became trendy collectors. Film director John Waters and actor Johnny Depp are some celebrities who own his paintings. Gacy's art dealer was Rick Station of Grindhouse Graphics. So that is our story on John Wayne Gacy. Those basically just the basics. There's a lot more. I do want to encourage you, if you're into this whole thing, you gotta watch the show. My eyebrows have been fucking crazy lately. I don't know, I'm one of them girls that my eyebrows gotta be like straight. You know, they're not painted on or anything. They're real, but they just gotta be on point. Anyways, back to what I was saying. You gotta watch the movie. I want to say it's just called John Wayne Gacy, but I could be wrong. And then also watch the horror movie Patches. That shit's freaky. A lot of blood, guts, gore. We love it. I love it. Do you love it? I don't know. So that was case number 4, John Wayne Gacy. In the next few days, 2, 3, up to 4 days, I'm going to do case number 5 of this. And then we're going to take a break and I'm going to do some fun stuff. More fun stuff, like different stuff. And then after that, we'll come back to the big book of serial killers and I will do 5 more. So the series includes 10 mini cases. Excuse me. I also wanted to mention again, and I say this every video, I want you to check out the website. I will post that in the comments below or put it in the description details of the video. I'll put the link in there. You got to check out some of the horror stuff. I haven't gotten to add anything new yet, but I am definitely going to very, very soon. I also need to add some of my Goddess merch since I just released Goddess single. And that music video should be coming out within the next few weeks. I'm super excited about that. I look gorgeous in it, like a goddess. It's really nice. Anyways, I hope you liked tonight's story. Put in the comments if you want to hear a little something about somebody certain, something specific. Let me know what you would like for me to read up on and do an episode on. All right. It's the beginning of a new week. Everybody have a great week. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay spooky, right? Yeah, we gotta be spooky. It's the only way to be. It's not just for Halloween. It's a fucking lifestyle. Yeah. All right. I love you guys. I appreciate you so much. Thanks for watching. Good night.